Hello, everyone. Let's start our webinar. Thank you all for joining. My name is Elena Grinyuk, and I'm Regional Director for the Central Eastern Europe at the SME Banking Club, and I will be your host today. And the topic of today's webinar is online and mobile banking for SMEs. So this year we analyzed the functionality of the online banking solutions and mobile banking applications for SME customers here in the CE region, and I will present main outcomes right now. So before we start, just a very short organizational information from my side. So our webinar is scheduled up to 30 minutes. We are recording this webinar, so right after we finish, you will receive the link to the video. And in the end of the webinar, we're gonna have time for your questions. So please type your questions into the chat. So let's go to the topic. We at SME Banking Club this year produced 5 studies devoted to the digitalization of financial services for SMEs. And so we presented already a digital factoring study, digital lending study, and digital sales tool study. So all the recordings are available on our YouTube channel and you can watch them. And also you're welcome to become our member and receive full access to all the study materials. And today we are focusing on the online and mobile banking solutions for SMEs. And I'd like to share with you some updates, what we see now in the CE region, so this year. And also I would like to mention that exactly in 20 days, on November 25, we will nominate and award the best solution on the markets. And we will announce this during our annual CE SME Banking Club conference on November 25. So you're welcome to join. This year conference is taking place purely online and access is free of charge. So you're welcome to join us and see who will be the winners here. So let's go to the outcomes. Let's start from the online banking. So we analyzed the main countries here in the CE region during August and October. And the scope of this year's study is 34 online banking solutions. So actually and 90 parameters. And actually the first criteria why we choose the banks for this analysis is that the banks have some information available or much information, let's say, available on their websites regarding the online banking solution, because we consider if the bank considers that this is an advantage and they want to attract business customers for the digital solutions for online banking and mobile banking. So we consider that information should be available on the website in the scope that the SME customer can really make a decision why they have to choose that bank. So this was the first criteria, and the next was that we also checked information with the call center and also checked information with the bankers that are responsible for the online and mobile banking in the banks here in the region. So the study looks as one PDF document and also a table, Excel table with the 90 parameters of all the banks. So what are the main outcomes and the main focus here in the region? So from the time of the lockdown, of course, the this accelerated digital usage of digital channels here in the region, and just 2 points and two numbers here that, for example, ING Bank Śląski in Poland announced that 50% of companies opened business accounts in remote channel during the lockdown period, I mean the first one in spring. And Santander Bank Polska also informed that they stopped sales campaigns that required customers to visit branches during the lockdown period. So that's why the focus of to the digitalization remained and became the top one, and the areas actually remained as it was previous year. So this is a remote end-to-end customer onboarding, lending processes, and e-banking campaigns, and implementation of beyond banking solutions. What are the main focuses if you watch on the online banking solution? So the new one, actually, what appeared this year is account aggregation due to the PSD2 directive. So here and also in the mobile banking as well. So the rest remained the same from the previous year. So this is online customer onboarding, customized dashboards in the online banking, main parts of all bank products available in digital channels, development of ecosystems, and integration of additional value-added services. The difference this year is actually the number of banks that implemented these digital processes. And here is the table that we created as the main outcomes for the analysis is so if we watch for the main products or for the main scenarios for the business customers, is that we see here is that the must-have, so that the main part of the banks has it already implemented. This is a must-have, meaning that this is not differentiates bank on the market in the eyes of SME customers anymore. So this is just a standard number of features, and they ask that the business customers have access to their account balances, history, statements, payment in local currencies, payments in foreign currency, payment templates, and also this year card limits and history. This is actually changed from the previous year, that access to cards, transactions, and changing of limits, the number of banks that implemented this increased. So half of the banks that we analyzed have implemented foreign currency exchange module in the online banking solutions. Also, in the half of the banks, SME customer can open a business account in foreign currency purely online. And also an application for additional products like cards or cash withdrawal or POS has appeared actually this year as an applications in the online banking. Then if we go to the online opening of business account and customer onboarding, so this still the number of banks a bit increased compared to the previous year, but still this is less than 30% of the banks. That we consider that that in the context of the whole region, this is the beginning of the implementation of these processes. So this concerns online opening of business account and also online applications for the loans and other financial products actually, and signing of the loan agreements purely online. And less than 10% or around 10% of the banks have full lending process available online. So from the customers' applications to the signing of lending agreement online. If we look at the beyond banking solutions, so here we see that still less of the 30% of the banks has something implemented in this area, meaning mainly e-invoicing and online accounting. But what is different this year is here appeared also the integration and offer for the SME customers to open online shop, e-shop, and also payment gates. So this is what differentiates actually this year. And if we watch here on the payment authorization and KYC process, what has changed compared to the previous year is that mobile authorization for the payments became more popular this year. Half of the banks have implemented this. Last year, it was in the number here, like beginning of implementations, and it was less than 30% of the banks had this. And the main way of payment authorization is SMS. And the good thing is the user has the option to choose the way they authorize the payments. And as I mentioned, that the online customer onboarding is still available in less than 30% of the banks. And a unique case, which I present in a minute, is from ING Bank in Poland, is customer identification with a selfie. So let's look through to some interesting examples here. So this trend of business registration via the bank website or online banking solution. So last year we had the 3 offers, and 3 banks in Poland offered this to the entrepreneurs, so that the entrepreneur can register business using bank website with automatical customer onboarding and opening business account. So this year we have 5 banks offering this, and these are 4 banks in Poland and 1 bank in Czech Republic. Then this is the case that I announced previously, that customer identification with the selfie. So this summer, ING Bank, actually as the first bank here in the CE region, launched this product, meaning opening business account with a selfie for the companies. Because before, this product was available in a number of the banks for the individuals, but for the companies, this is the first implementation at the moment. So let's look here in a bit more detail. So this was that we showed the last year's process of online customer onboarding. This is example of also ING. And we also presented this, I think, 3 years ago during our conference. So this process actually hasn't changed. And this new feature with the selfie appears on the stage when the customer fulfilled the online applications, sent it, signed the agreement in the online banking system. And after this, the customer should confirm their identity. So this actually involves, and customer should have an access to the online banking and to the mobile banking application. So because the process starts in the online banking, and then to confirm the identity with a selfie, customer opens the mobile banking application, so scan the ID from the 2 sides and also makes a picture and send data for the verification. And after this, in the online banking, customer sees already here the screen that like the ID verification status. And when it will be approved, then the customer will verify it. The customer receives an email notification, and after that, customer can use already the business account. Account aggregation. 3 banks in the region implemented account aggregation for the business customers. Here is example of the ING Bank that implemented this for their individual and private entrepreneurs customers. So the accounts are aggregated from 7 banks, and so based on the account information service. And this means that the customer has an access to the account balance and to the account history from other banks. I will show you later also 2 other examples in the mobile banking applications. And this is actually interesting because this function is mainly now implemented by the number of banks for the individual customers, while for business customers, this is available now at the moment only in 3 banks in the region. Ecosystems. This year, banks continued to improve, let's say, the ecosystems for business customers. Here is the first one that was launched 4 years ago in Hungary, in OTP Bank, called OTP EBIS. This was actually the first ecosystem for SME customers. And we see this year banks continuing developing this and also adding new functions. For example, a new features was added by PKO Bank Polski in Poland, which means that they added even like online agreements to the ecosystems. So in additionally to the e-invoicing or online accounting. BFM module remains not a priority at the moment. So several banks implemented, but this year we haven't seen new implementations in the region. So we'll see what will change next year. And this is actually 2 examples that I wanted to share that I mentioned, that among the beyond banking solution that banks offered and implemented this year for SME customers, this offer of creating an online shop and also offering a payment gate, and here in Poland also buy now and pay later solutions for the SME customers. So two examples, very good ones coming from ING Bank in Poland. So in summer, they launched campaign Keep Doing Business, motivating SME customers move their businesses online, of course, for the sectors that they can do this. And also offering free online shop opening, payment gates, and buy now and pay later solution were implemented with fintech called Twisto. Also, they did a series of webinars for the customers and a series of commercials. And mBank did the similar offer for the SMEs. So they called their campaign "Move Your Business to Online," offering also opening an e-shop for 1 zloty and free payment gate. And also they offered discounts for the advertisement online for the SME customers. And also they launched a competition offering also prize and mentorship and advice for the online business development. This is it that I wanted to show on the online banking solution. Now let me show some outlines for the mobile banking. Meanwhile, you are welcome to write your questions if you have ones in the chat. So mobile banking. This year, this is the first year that we analyzed mobile banking solutions in the range of also 90 parameters. So the same ones as we did for the online banking. We included top 20 mobile applications here because for the business customers, mobile banking remains maybe not the priority. So online banking is still the priority here. So what are the main focus here and trends? So well, this year very visible, let's say, it was implementation of customer identity with biometrics, which we haven't seen actually last year for the business customers, login with biometrics and also payment authorization with biometrics. Then increasing number of products available in the mobile banking, scan and pay transfers, which is a very useful function compared to the online banking that actually makes mobile banking very useful for the business customers, and account aggregation. So if to show, I will show you, for example, this a map of the outlines. So what are the standard functionality that business customers have access to is the account balances and the history of the accounts, then payments in local currency, foreign currency. And also what is interesting about the foreign currency exchange module is if the bank has implemented this in the online banking, almost everywhere they have implemented this in mobile banking as well. So this is available for the business customers in mobile banking as well. And also access to the card limits and changing of the card limits of all the holders of the company. Then half of the companies have of the banks have implemented this year tax payments via the mobile applications and NFC payments for business cards, and this is actually was a trend this year, and scan and pay function that I mentioned. Then less than 30% of the banks have implemented the customer onboarding, meaning the opening current account online and also opening current account in local currency, in foreign currency, and creation or generation of the loan application. And experiments here are actually the 3 banks that implemented account aggregation. If we look for the beyond banking services, this is the same as for the online banking. So less than 30% of the bank has this functionality. And if you look on the authorization methods, so as I mentioned, so login with biometrics became really a must-have this year. And also user can choose the option of login. And if we look at the payment authorization, so the PIN is the main payment authorization method now, and in the half of the banks, the customer can authorize also with biometrics. And also the trend of this year is that actually the number of the banks, it can sort maybe to the online banking mainly, that the number of the banks that were offered that token as a authorization method has decreased this year. So some interesting examples here. So this part of the self-verification that is taking part in the mobile application I have shown you already. Also an interesting function that is available in a number of the banks here in the region is that the customer can see or can set, let's say, the information, some information that they can see without login to the mobile application. So this can be either balances on the current account, so on the credit cards or debit cards, and also customer has a possibility to do transfers between their accounts without logging in. And actually the customer can set how he can see the information, other than in the amounts or in the percentage or nothing at all. So and the login with biometrics, some examples here. And yes, this is account aggregation to next to another examples is one coming from the Czech Republic. Moneta Money Bank implemented account aggregation for business customers, and they have aggregated 7 accounts from the 7 banks. And Bulgaria, FI Bank, First Investment Bank, implemented also this account aggregation from 8 banks. This is actually shortly what I wanted to present. As I mentioned, that the full studies are available for our members, where you can see all the very detailed processes, how does it look like in the online banking and mobile banking. So you're welcome to join our club. And I see 2 questions here, and so we'll read now and answer. So loyalty programs, in which regions we can find successful implementations. The one that I can now name is the mBank in Poland. And I think this is it. So actually not many. I think this is the future. I think that in the nearest year, we will see some more examples on this. But at the moment, for business customers, not much. Examples of functions, advantages for SMEs of OpenAPI. Well, this is mainly OpenAPI here operates at, I think, less than 10% of the banks. And mainly this is for the upper SME customers that they can get the access to the account history or account information in the real time. So this is the advantage to have OpenAPI for the customer. So if you have any additional questions, you're welcome to type, and also you're welcome to write to us at our email after the webinar. So we will be glad to answer. So if we don't have any additional questions, thank you very much for your attention. So we will send this video and this short presentations in the very shortly, I think in 1 hour, you will receive it. And if you have any question, you're welcome to write me anytime. Thank you very much, and see you next time online. Goodbye.